Welcome everyone to Pentakill League Season 3, Week 5. I'm Depression Main and I will be hosting a double feature for you guys. Game 1, I am accompanied by Black's LOL, aka Bear, on the desk for the game between Bilgewater Powder Monkeys and the undefeated Piltover Firelights. Jer, why don't you introduce our teams?
Yeah, hey everyone. Yeah, absolutely. So Piltover undefeated. You've got Balthazar in the top lane, one of the standout players this season for sure. Insane KDA, a couple of crazy unkilled matches. You got Citrone in the jungle, just a ganking machine, has been in all lanes all the time. Aya, the Yasuo one trick. He's got that Yasuo unbannable. Technically a silver player, but in the right hands, and on Kev's team, those are the right hands, shown to be a real force. You got Caesar Oman, solid AD carry. I think Kev picked him specifically for his ability to just hang out in lane alone while Kev roams around the entire map because you got Hyriana Lol, aka Kev, in the bot lane. Um, Support player plays pretty much everything, but primarily enchanters, and loves to roam around the map.
Yes, he does, and he makes it super, super clean almost all the time. It's like he's a second jungler.
Oh yeah, absolutely. On the other side, you get Bilgewater Powder Monkeys. Crocs are lame, pretty well-known tank player, known for kind of doing pretty poorly in lane, but then somehow managing to be incredibly impactful in team fights anyway. You got Macho Man Randy Savage in the jungle, a very aggressive jungler. Mega Beast, historically more of a mage player in the mid lane, but what did pick up the Malphite here to counter that Yasuo, so that's an interesting pick. We'll keep our eye on that one. Might be full tank Malphite, might be full AP Malphite. That'll be a fun one to watch. You got Valoran, super steady AD carry, plays a pretty passive lane, and then tends to hard carry out of the late game. And then Post McClone, the Shaco one-trick jungler, playing support here and the captain of his team. Plays a little bit of everything. And yeah, should be a pretty interesting one.
For sure. And we are looking to see if the Bilgewater Powder Monkeys can put up, I believe, their second win up against the undefeated Piltover Firelights here in Week 5. And it should be noted that Caesar Oman, this is his first game on a champion other than Kog'Maw for the league.
Yeah, they're 4 games on Kog'Maw, and finally he had the option to take it again. No one's banned it against him yet, but opting for the pretty popular Jinx right now. Pretty strong this patch out of the late game. Those if you do fall behind early and you get those bounties, Jinx can just tear down towers and carry out of the late game for sure.
Absolutely, and we actually have a bunch of weird picks, I think, in this game. Balthazar isn't exactly known for playing his typical top laners, and Nasus is one of the stereotypical, I'm going to sit here and farm, play the lane, and I'm going to show you how good I am at, wave control and all that. Citrone on Sejuani, we haven't seen that one yet from her. We have Mega Beast's Malphite. We've seen him do it before in customs, I believe, but I don't know if we've seen him do it in the league games themselves. And Valoran on Senna.
Yeah, another new one.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Vol very well known for playing these high attack speed, orb walking, space gliding AD carries, and Senna's an interesting one to pull out here. I kind of like it with the beefy frontline of Mundo, Malphite, Jarvan. I think it's pretty interesting, but and they've got Brand too for some of that AP damage given the Mundo Malphite. So I think that's kind of an interesting combo there. It might be something that kind of can play a little bit further back, has that long range later in the game, to potentially stay away from that Nasus, Sejuani, Yasuo nonsense. So I like both teams. I think they're both pretty interesting. I will say into Mundo Malphite, there's a lot of AD on Piltover.
So they definitely have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I kind of like the late game at a BPM here, but there's always there's Jinx, and Kraken Slayer Jinx into that team is gonna probably shred anyway.
For sure. And Sejuani is such a hold you down champion, and we might even see AP Nasus. You know, we could see anything happen here. I've seen
Yeah,
Belf
I mean,
do
if
some
there's someone
crazy
who's gonna
things.
pull out AP Nasus out of nowhere,
Yeah, he
I
could do
wouldn't
it.
be surprised if it was Belf. Yeah.
You know, and if he does, everybody heard it here first. I called it. But if he does not, I expect that his scaling is going to be nuts one way or the other. You know, characters like Senna and Brand are just not going to have a chance to survive anyway. And then who's going to be able to kill Nasus in a scrap? Jarvan? I don't think so.
Yeah, you get the percent damage coming out of Mundo, and I mean Senna late game can be pretty potent, but I think it's going to be pretty tough.
For
But who
sure.
knows? I mean, they got their own tanky front line, so it could just be a wet noodle fight for the first 30 seconds of every team fight until eventually someone finally breaks through the front lines. Or we could see some interesting pickoffs. Maybe Brand gets behind on the Jinx or something, or Malphite ults in and just one shots someone with full AP, and then if you do get
That
rid of
could be
that Jinx,
fun.
I like if they got Brand Malphite getting rid of that Jinx, or Malphite ulting in and Jarvan jumping on top of it, like the damage, it does run out pretty quickly, but you're diving into Soraka. So,
And I like the takeaways here from, Mega Beast playing Malphite. We don't see a Malphite top or a Malphite support or, some weird Malphite jungle. We do still see the Sejuani for knockups, but that is the only other source of sort of Yasuo feeding that we see on this team. And, we see the Jarvan takeaway from Macho Man Randy Savage. And, having only one knockup is going to be perhaps very limiting for our resident mid lane Yasuo only one trick in Aya.
yeah, no, that's a good point. They've historically picked, the Zax or even like a Vel'Koz or something else to kind of assist with those knockups. But yeah, they really don't have anything else on their team that are going to be, really doing that. I think there might be like a minor bump from Sejuani with the dash that might count. Um, and you know that Aya is going to be spamming R the absolute instant anyone gets knocked up anywhere, known for kind of not letting people drop and just going in right away. But yeah, it should be interesting. He's got lots of frontline people to hit that Q against to potentially proc it, but yeah, it should be an interesting one.
For sure, I am definitely looking forward to seeing these opening few minutes here, as literally anything can happen. And like we're seeing it right here, we got 5 people running straight down into the river, running as 5 for the Piltover Firelights. And then the Bilgewater Powder Monkeys doing a more standard split up, getting all their bases covered, playing it safe.
That's interesting because usually Piltover are known for kind of going that line of scrimmage style defense, where they just put someone everywhere, but looking to potentially get a cheeky level 1 kill here as Saya pokes out.
As Aya completely ruins that if anybody was over there by showing himself out of the bush. We love you, Aya. Stay in the bush. It looks like they're giving up on that.
Yeah.
Everyone's going back to lane. But Malphite and Mundo kind of pushed up here into the river. They're going to definitely see and maybe catch this Nasus as he runs. Nasus might be keen on that. He's out of here, playing it safe. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. They'll see him coming back to mid from the top side, which will be interesting. They might expect like a deep ward there for the later jungle. So I kind of like that word. I usually like it more on a camp than in that bush, but that bush still gives you a pretty good idea of where Citrine is going to be in the second half of her jungle.
For sure. And that lasts pretty much just long enough to let you know if she's going to be doing her top side or your bot side or some gank shenaniganery. And those types of wards are super critical for a jungler's decision making.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of shenaniganery, a little bit of skirmishing going on in the bot lane here, a little back and forth, but
Cap is looking to get an edge on one another over here.
Yeah. True, I believe this is the only 2 support captains in the league.
If you count myself,
that's true. Yeah,
I'm now
you're switching over there
supporting
now
for my team. So and we got Mike and G Cola down in the bot lane too. So it's not like bot lane's devoid of captain on captain violence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
MLB as well. Quite a lot of captains in the bot lane, actually. If you think about it, but the only two that have been support for the whole season, I guess at least.
For sure. And let me tell you, jumping down there, first game against Kev, that's a tough matchup, I gotta say. I don't relish the thought of doing. Oh, hang on, we're getting an invade from Jarvan onto the Sejuani, a little bit north of mid lane here, and I believe Sejuani didn't get that. So yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage stealing that buff away. Balthazar moving in to save her life, and Macho Man Randy Savage being a savage.
Yeah, it does play a pretty aggressive jungle, and Jarvan is a pretty quick clear and pretty strong early game fighter. So
For
does
sure,
take a
and that's
little bit of
exactly what
advantage
you
on
want
it.
to see here.
Oh,
Slow
100%.
down Citrine, make sure she can't just be at every single fight, because that is what she is super good at. She is so good at outnumbering and outmaneuvering other junglers for fights. It's real difficult to keep up with, but Macho Man Randy Savage setting her onto her back foot there early on, and that's what you got to be doing here if you're Bilgewater.
Yeah, absolutely. Some strong early farming from the Nasus here. Gonna start keeping an eye on his stacks once they start getting into mid game.
For sure. Ooh, bad trade here for Citrine again. That's going to set her really far behind if she has to back here.
Yeah, already getting over doubled in CS, and Jarvan's gone through and taken, the red buff and also the Raptors on the top side of the map from her.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he hits level 5 before she hits level 4.
Yeah, it does seem pretty possible.
I had taken a pretty decent trade. Malphite is a real tough lane for Yasuo here. So I would like to see, I'd like to see Malphite start getting aggressive with that Yasuo, using his shield to his advantage, just beating on him as best he can.
Yeah, a little bit of a lull here. Just people are kind of starting to get their first backs in.
Let's take some predictions. What do you think, Jer? Who's going to win this game?
I mean, it's hard to vote against Piltover. They've just been such a dominating team this whole season. Comp-wise, I think I kind of like the team fight scrappy comp out of BPM, but Jinx I think is probably going to be able to carry out of the late game, and I'm a little worried about this Nasus just popping off at some point, just because Belf has historically done that on anything he's played.
For sure, and the infinite scaling will be pretty dangerous for everybody involved.
Yeah, but BPM, I mean, they're off to a good start, and certainly, I mean, shutting down that jungle, great place to start. I'd like to see them transition that into some picks on mid, as I has been basically shoving that lane constantly into the Malphite, and maybe once Malphite hits 6, start seeing some just repeat ganks mid over and over again and put him behind, because between him and Jinx, that's all the damage on the team. And if you can get one of them shut down and you can kill Jinx in teamfights later on instantly, you're in good shape. Although I'll point out that Malphite does appear to be going more of a tanky route with that Balmy Cinder. That's going to build into the Sunfire Cape or something. And you'll probably see him more frontlining rather than trying to insta-kill people with full AP Malphite there.
Yeah, it looks like they're probably going to be relying on the Brand and Senna scaling into, even if Brand gets killed in a team fight, even if he gets killed quickly in a team fight, he's still probably going to do well over a couple thousand damage just because of the burn of the the alt jumps.
Yeah, you can get that alt jumps, you get your
good.
first item once you got the Leandry's stacked with your passive. Croc's learning a belt here, but
yeah, Croc's giving it to him. He's keeping up pretty good in CS. He's not overachieving, but it's not really his job to overachieve right now. Right now, it's don't give Belth any more of a lead than you have to. I don't think anybody's had a good lane against Belth yet, except for maybe Shen Triplets, who solo killed him twice. But even then, once we got into the mid game, you still saw him, making such a big impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping up that double CS out of the jungle, though, even now that we've kind of stabilized a bit more. Um,
For
really
sure. We're
liking that
having
out
some
of it.
action in the bot lane here. Citronade going under the tower, trying to force a dive that I don't think we have to be taking here. Post McClone doing a lot of damage. Valerian trying to poke out, but doesn't want to overcommit to this because Caesar and Kev are still present.
Yeah,
And
man,
Citronade
this
is forced to
Soraka
back
healing
off.
is just disgusting.
Oh,
Citronade had no real business living there, but healed for
yeah.
pretty much her entire health bar worth of health over the
Soraka
course of
just
that
so
fight.
potent there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy. Still a rather slow-paced game. You know, we are seeing 500 gold in favor of the Powder Monkeys. Absolutely massive. But no
Gank mid.
objectives
We
being
see the
taken.
ult there. Here's Jarvan.
Jarvan's going in. Aya's trying to get out, but first blood over to Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah,
And I believe Aya didn't burn any sums, and Mega Beast only burned Ignite, so we might see a whole bunch of more scrapping around there as both teams try to push their advantages.
Yeah, we did see both ults out of BPM, and I think that the ults are actually more important than the summoners probably in that like gank scenario. Just because, I mean, Flash on Malphite, if you don't have the ult, doesn't really do that much more for you. You know, you get a couple extra autos in, maybe E is a little easier to hit, but eh. And then Jarvan, you know, I mean, it's all about that burst damage to get that Yasuo down during the Malphite ult, so... I think they should probably just kill him off cooldown for that ult being up, if they have the opportunity to do so, though. I can't really imagine a better, like, two-person comp for killing a Yasuo over and over again in mid lane.
For sure. Yeah, J4 and Malphite both very oppressive, and Sejuani also pretty strong if given the right timing. So both of those mid jungle combos very scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're seeing Kev start to roam around here already. Soraka moving towards the mid lane, clearing out some vision on the river. Not so much happening still around the map. Looks like we are looking to grab a Herald soon, perhaps, now that the dragon is down.
Yeah, and some early wards from Piltover on the top side. They've got a couple of pinks out already, whereas the wards are a bit more defensive on blue side.
Croc's giving it to Belf again, making sure that he knows that he's no slouch. He's been in this league a whole lot longer than Belf has, and all I'm saying is one of them won season 2. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You know, say what you will, you know, he might be technically silver and technically get unbannable and all that, but he is a defending champion, no doubt. And I think it was I believe the like one of the out of all the people I think who are silver, like one of the first picks as well.
I believe he was the first pick of the silver players.
Yeah, so I mean, people recognizing that, you know, Crocs' presence in team fights is pretty much always felt there. Citronade looking to potentially get a gank going here bot lane, just stay in this.
Another lane. Oh, the ult is coming down. A little bit of poke coming from Caesar Roman, but Sejuani's caught out. Jarvan's here to counter gank. Caesar Roman forced to flash. Kev also forced to flash. We're seeing a lot of the damage coming down from Brand. Valerian trying to do something, but his slow auto attacks are preventing a little bit. Jarvan re-engaging. Kev getting kind of low. Brand and Valerian both being able to pick up some damage. Double kill. Triple kill in the bot lane. 3 for 0 in favor of BPM. 4-0
That's
at
huge.
11 minutes.
And a couple of those going on, you know, one on a Jarvan, one on a Brand, one on a Senna, all the 3 people you want to see kills on. I'm always happy to see early kills go to Jarvan, even, you know, potentially even away from your AD carry, just because his ability to kind of control that mid game by just being able to insta kill people, totally fine, and is going to still be one of the main damage sources on this team.
Citronade meeting Macho Man Randy Savage on the Wolves.
Yeah, getting a little too hypey maybe, because they're all collapsing on him, but he might be able to get out of there.
Oh, he doesn't drop his flag before trying to drag, and he is caught having to flash.
Yeah.
So now a bit of those summoner spell differences getting sort of mitigated there as he just sort of overextends and then miss micros there a little bit.
Yeah.
lots of flashes burned on the side of the Piltover Firelights, and all the flashes are down on the side of Bilgewater Powder Monkeys as well from that fight.
There's a notable lack of hard CC on Piltover's team, I would say. You got like the slow from Nasus, and really it's just Sejuani and the occasional knock-up from Yasuo. But there's not a lot of very reliable hard CC outside of the Sejuani, who used the ult in the fight earlier in the bot lane there. So it's kind of easy for Jarvan to get away with a lot of the stuff that he's doing, diving deep into the enemy jungle and stuff. But
for sure, and even those roots from Jinx or Soraka can be just mitigated by the flag and drag. That is not actually stopping that. You can do that as long as you are not hard CC'd, and even if you start your drag before you're hard CC'd, you'll still go through the whole jump.
Oh,
Jarvan's awesome at getting away with things.
Jarvan does very good into this comp.
A little bit of a lull as some more tower plates are going to fall in the bot lane. Vol starting to get his stacks up as well. He's actually out farming Caesar Oman by 20. Aya's got a nice farm lead as well, and we're still seeing 35 in favor of Jarvan. With top lane going pretty even. You love to see it from Crocs.
Yeah, absolutely. He honestly has caught up in CS since being behind, I think, about 15 or so from earlier, and now back to pretty much even. You see a fight in the bot lane here.
Yep, Caesar Oman getting dove on. Brand damage coming down, and the Jarvan ult to finish it off, just in case he was going to get away. Just making sure he doesn't.
Yeah, cheeky one-man ult from the end of the Brand there. It doesn't do too much to the Raka, as that doesn't bounce, but definitely a great kill onto Caesar. So they kind of continue to press their lead.
For sure. Probably just a little bit late, the nerves showing, as both of these teams are very good. Post just trying to make something extra happen. Yeah, it does not. But he doesn't need to, as they take the first tower and the dragon off of that, and they are looking for good resets and perhaps a Rift Herald very shortly.
Yeah, 5k lead, I think probably the largest lead anyone's had on Piltover.
For sure.
I think you guys got around 4k up on them early game.
I think that's correct, yeah. And let's see if they can do something more than we did here, because 5-0 looks pretty familiar.
yeah, there is a trend, and I think that's the alarm bells to Balthazar to say, hey, it's time to start playing the video game, because he's starting to take part in the action here.
Red side starting to the Rift Herald up as both teams start collapsing on it. Balthazar in the center of the action. Post McClone going down early. The Brand ult not jumping around because it was still down until he was dead. Lots of action coming down. Citronet being forced to dash away. Macho Man Randy Savage not able to peel enough of that damage off of Vol. Both bot laners down. Belth is about to dive Mega Beast 2. He's getting the double kill. That is 2 kills onto the absolute monster that is Balthazar. And Croc says, enough's enough. I'm taking him out of here.
Yeah, Citronet says, stand behind me, Mr. President, and there's the ambulance and Soraka coming to the rescue, but a little bit of a misplay from Belth there, honestly, I think, unless, he's going to say, yeah, I'm just baiting him, calculated maybe, but does kind of try to, I think he was trying to get back to top lane to continue farming and wasn't expecting to run into Mundo on the way.
For sure.
He does have to back for it.
That fight went absolutely disastrously for the Bilgewater Powder Monkeys. Their lead essentially cut in half there, more than, as they lose 3 of their members. Some bad shutdowns going in favor of the one person you probably don't want to see shutdowns going onto. And then also Citronet picked up one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll point out specifically the play by Aya to just, win wall all the damage coming in from... Oh, we got a pick here on a Hyriana.
A little bit of action there in the mid lane as he runs away.
Yep.
Yeah, Aya's there to sort of push, give him a little push in the right direction there.
Yeah, but the fight started off pretty well for them until Belth came in and just did 80% of Brand's health with a single Q. And then that wind
Yeah.
wall blocked all
Can we
damage,
get,
and he had a 2-person ult. He had a Q
can we
into
get
a
a can we
2-person
get
ult
a
in the back end.
stacks check here on Nasus? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, let's have a look at the Nasus here. We're looking at
Yeah.
345
Stacks from
stacks
mid lane.
already.
Aya Saga getting beat up pretty bad, but the Soraka there to heal him up. That's quite a few stacks.
Yeah,
Can we read that one more time for me?
345 at 70 minutes.
345. That's quite a few.
That's pretty dirty.
D4 gets caught there, and so does Mega Beast, caught in the
Yeah, that's
action.
another shutdown, and just like that, I mean, the gold went from a 5k lead to about a 1-point-something k lead. They're able to take a tower back in response to all that action mid, but game kind of equalized a little bit. They still do have a 2-dragon lead as well, on top of the 1.7k gold we are looking at here.
For sure. That'll buy him about 12 minutes if things start to swing in favor of the Piltover Firelights. But we want to see BPM sort of stabilize this and sort of take back control of the game, which they have had for the past 18 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only been a few games that have not been kind of a one-sided snowball, and the few that have been more comebacks have generally been a one-way comeback where once one team starts pulling back their lead, they tend to keep it. So interesting. Well, hopefully we'll see a bit more of a roller coaster looking stat line on this one, where the game stays close the whole way through.
For sure. I think the only game that we've had like that was the Shuriman Saiyan Soldiers versus the Freljord Frostguard, where the soldiers were so far ahead, and then the Freljord Frostguard got a series of amazing plays, but ultimately ended up falling in that
game. They were able to hold on to it there. Looks like we might have a play around Dragon here.
Aya's a little bit far forward. I think you cut your losses there. Let Aya go.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what is.
They do commit the one person. They commit the one-person ult onto him for a Malphite, but that probably would be enough.
Trade.
Honestly,
he's still worth money.
Yeah, Jinx is in the mid lane. That's probably gonna be a free dragon here. Citrine might go for a steal.
I don't know if I would even attempt this, but Kev seems pretty adamant that you gotta. So here we go. Blue team manages to pick it up. Jinx rocket comes down, not really hurting that much because it is an execute. And Crocs are lame trying to get his brand out of here.
Yeah,
Belf chasing down. He's so fast. Holy crap. And he's coming down with big Q. He's dead. Stack him up. Farmer Nasus is here.
Yeah, huge ult and heal out of the rocket, keeping him up there. And that's another thing. It's not just a Nasus with a decent front line, but you do have that rocket healing him the whole way.
For sure.
So he's tough to kill.
Any of the frontliners there are going to be absolutely impossible to kill. We saw it early game on the Sejuani under tower, and we'll probably be seeing it for the rest of the game on both Sejuani and Nasus, as a whole bunch of shenanigans just happened there.
Yeah, and we're starting to get, I think we're going to start seeing some mythics on most people. Jinx, the last one to get it, I think, in the whole game. Yep. Had a bit of a rough lane there, but once Jinx starts getting a couple items, does start coming online as well.
Yep, there it is. Kraken Slayer purchased, and all the mythics have been completed. Pretty much what you expect to see across the board here.
Yeah, nothing really standing out too much.
Vision scores pretty much about even. A little bit more on the side of Mega Beast to Aya, but not so much so that Kev's lead over Post is shadowed. So
yeah,
pretty good
overall.
Yeah.
Minor leads on every single lane, other than support, and then Kev with a fairly sizable one. Kev and Post have both been some of the warding and vision score leaders this season for sure.
Absolutely.
Despite, it's easy to have a high vision score when you're winning and constantly kind of pushing it, but Post is in a pretty good job despite, a 1-3 record.
Here comes a dive. Balthazar getting a little greedy for that tower. Macho Man Randy Savage coming to buy him out. Sentinel comes down. So does the Jarvan ult. Brand ult also, I think, just dropped. I'm not sure why that came down, but he did. But Balthazar is just so big. Holy crap. He's going to kill them all.
Yeah, he is just unstoppable. He's at full health. The Soraka and Nasus just really tough to deal with.
Crocs or Lame says, I've done this before. Let's just turn the fight.
Oh,
and Valerian says, I'm turning all right. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And Caesar Oman picking up his first kill onto Crocs. A gift from Nasus, who absolutely could have had that and claimed his stacks. Aya alting in the mid lane. Mega Beast on the run, the last surviving member.
Yeah.
Actually, Vold survived, didn't
Vol
he?
lived, he took
Yeah.
1 Q for about 65% of his health and said, no
and
thanks.
then he got out.
I'll
He
be
was fine.
leaving. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good job, Vol. Aya Saga. We are now at a very nice, even 6-9 score here. We have about a 1.5k gold lead in favor of the Firelights now. Let's get a stats check onto the Nasus. How are we doing on stacks? What do we got?
We're up to 5-10 now.
5-10 at 23 minutes. He's probably actually going to hit you like a freight train if the freight train decided it had mercy.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. But yeah, he's already chunking people for more than half with a single Q plus the Divine Sunderer.
Yeah, that is absolutely nuts. He does have the Gargoyle Stoneplate now, so he's going to be even harder to kill as he gets low.
Yeah, he's been unkillable thus far, so I mean he's now a step up from unkillable, it seems, and that's going to be pretty tough to deal with.
We're on the route to Legendary. 3 more kills. Here comes the Sejuani ult missing. Valerian's on the run. Mega Beast also tagging out, but he's a little bit tankier, so he's not quite as in danger. Balthazar pinching, pushing out the Jarvan. Jarvan gets healed up by the Senna. Everybody's on the run here. And, you know, some of us are not as fast, and Balthazar is going to claim all of our lives with his big stack stick.
Oh.
Vol is just not far enough away. Half his health gone.
Yeah, he went to hit the blast plant, but canceled his own auto. I think used to those higher auto attack speed champions. He spacewalked himself out of a disengage tool there, unfortunately.
Whew, that is rough.
Yeah, I hate to see that.
And that's not a pun, but it could be if you want it to be.
I have Soloing Dragon here, which is ambitious.
Here we go. Post McClone's here, ready to get his solo kill onto Aya's Saga. Mega Beast here, ready to get his solo kill onto Aya's Saga. He got it. There we go.
Yeah, they do get him. The Soraka ult kept him alive just long enough, but Aya choosing to trade rather than trying to take down the dragon. I think at that point you got to just commit to the dragon and hope you're getting it, because that is
he does kill
notably
Post,
Cloud Soul. He did get the 1 kill onto the support.
Yeah. Piltover Firelights trading away Sol to grab the Baron. They're looking to make a push and end off of this massive Nasus. They're thinking that they can just do this the right proper way and siege it out. Cloud Soul, who's this actually helping? Probably just
I mean,
Brand?
Mundo for sure, a little bit maybe
Malphite a little bit.
Yeah, Brand for sure. I mean, it's okay.
3.
It's
yeah,
probably
3 out of
mostly
5.
useful on Mundo.
Yeah, J4, you know, he's not really going anywhere once he puts the
Yeah,
rock
once he
down.
puts the ult down, I mean, sure, he can walk a little bit faster in that small little confined space.
It might help Vol on Senna. You know, he ults, and then he's got a little bit of a time to have a speed up. So instead of having 99% slow, he'll only have 94% slow or something like that. That'll be nice.
Yeah, I mean, could be. I mean, maybe he's, trying to get in on a fight, and he ults to start it off as one of their front lines kind of go in, and then it gets you into the fight a little faster, potentially.
Speaking of front lines going in, here's Crocs engaging onto Kev and Citrine. Citrine taking a lot of damage really quick, but that Soraka heal is huge. They're blowing her up. Get her out of here. No more Soraka healing. Aya, you're next. Aya's on the run. He knows he's next. He's like, oh, Kev's dead, and they want me too. Belf taking a second tier tower, going for the inhib tower. TP coming down from Crocs. He's going to get shot up as he's going in, so we might see an assist depending on how much damage he takes here. But here we go. Balthazar deciding, better not. Soraka's dead. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Citrine trying to hold the tower down here in bot lane as Aya and Caesar join her. Belth is going to back off. Mega Beast pushing mid lane. Lots of action at the 27 minutes.
Yeah, looks like they do get out of there. Notably, the
Both
Mundo's
trying to
still
not kill.
pretty strong front line. He's only got one death this game.
Absolutely, yeah. That's exactly what you expect from Crocs. His team fighting is his strength, and that is the part of the game we are at.
Yeah,
He's just able to
he's been a
stand
little
there.
bit late to the last couple, and that's kind of allowed Belth to get past him. But I think if they can fight front to back and get an early pick on Soraka like that, employ the age-old tactic of killing the healer first, they do have a shot in a front to back fight. I think still,
Absolutely.
but it's definitely going to be difficult.
I don't know that I would want to take a front to back with Belth standing there and Citrone, not being allowed to, be slowed or take damage or, any of those other classic tricks of the junglers. But I definitely think with these weird side jungle engages where you're allowed to just walk on to the Soraka, I think that's big for the Bilgewater Powder Monkeys.
The Nasus slow onto Mundo he's just kind of laughing it off.
Yeah, Crocs knows that he's a big, beefy boy. He's got his Thornmail and his Iceborne now. He's armored up and ready to go. I don't even know if he cares as much about the NASA stacks as everybody else.
No, and he does still have that percent health Q. I mean, honestly, probably the person who does the most damage to Belth at this point, too. So, still a pretty good matchup for him, but if Belth does get onto your backline, or if they do manage to break past Crocs, they're in rough shape.
Stenalt coming down. Not sure 100%. Oh, he's using it for the speed boost. He's ready to fight. Vol's initiating. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, fight does start off here.
Crocs and Mega Beast frontlining against the Balthazar here. Nasus just slowing Vol. Half gone. There's a reason that Nasus was fucking drafted for Anubis here. Anubis, the god of death. And here it is, Balthazar, the god of death, looking for his first Pentakill. Doesn't get it, but 3 for 1, and they're looking to end the game.
Yeah, just proving they cannot get past that Nasus. He manages to get on the Vol, 2 Qs, he's done.
They're looking for the Soraka. His team's
here.
there to protect him, though. Macho Man Randy Savage unable to kill a Soraka, and Piltover Firelights looking to clean up. Crocs save your KDA, but is picked up with the 11-0 Balthazar taking the Nexus. How many stacks did he end up with?
Ooh, can we check?
Too many.
Yeah.
Too many. Let's take a quick look. Just real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see.
744.
744. Crazy. I think we know who the MVP is here.
Yeah, I think it's hard to give that to anyone other than him. I mean, great healing from the Soraka, too, I'll point out. Definitely, I kind of want to look at healing numbers.
Yeah, let's take a look here.
Healed on that Raka, 24,000.
Yeah. And almost all of that probably went towards the 2 beefy tanks and not so much onto Caesar Oman on the Jinx there.
Yeah, but if you look at damage...
That looks like it's about right.
I think he had one game, I think on the Victor, where he outdamaged the rest of his team combined. Almost accomplishing the same feat here, not quite, thanks to honestly a pretty good game out of Aya as well. He had a great team fight, kind of the first team fight that turned things around. But after that, it was the Balthazar show for sure. I'd agree with you there.
Let's talk about Aya's farm numbers here. Hang on.
They're big.
That's a big number.
Yeah, he's got lots of numbers.
Those are the big numbers, the ones you love to see. Anyway, I think that wraps us up for game number 1. We'll be right back with game number 2. We have the Zon Gutter Rats playing against the Freljord Frostguard right after this.
Yeah, right on. We'll see you soon.
GG's.